Hi, I'm Yvette and welcome back. Today I'm decorating a really sweet little Easter buttercream cake. It's petite, simple and honestly such a nice one to practice your piping on. If you enjoy this kind of calm, step-by-step cake decorating and want to feel more confident with your finishes, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. Now today I'm using a little 5-inch round cake, about 4 inches tall, and I'm actually using a dummy cake because this one is just for display. I actually love working on smaller cakes like this. They feel a lot more manageable, but you can still make them look really polished. It's a cute little mini cake moment. I'm starting with my buttercream, which is the same one I've used in my cake business for years now. I'll link that below if you want the full method. I like to start by adding a nice thick layer on top first and then gently working it down the sides using my offset spatula. This is like my #1 favorite tool. Now make sure you just take your time here, add more buttercream where you need it, and then go in with your scraper to smooth everything out. Now because this is a dummy cake, it does move around a little bit because it doesn't have the weight of a real cake. So just keep that in mind. And if you are using a real cake, it's actually so much easier to control. Now one little tip that really does help in smoothing your buttercream is warming your scraper with hot water. It just helps it glide over the buttercream and gives you a much smoother finish. Now for this particular cake though, I'm not going for an ultra smooth finish. I do want a bit of the rustic look happening in there. So once my buttercream is all finished, I'm going to start the fun part, which is the decorating. So I filled my piping bag with buttercream and I'm using a 1M tip. I'm starting at the base with a simple shell border going all the way around the base of the cake. Then we'll slowly move up to the top edge and I'm using that same tip to pipe a rope style border. Now try to keep your pressure nice and even and don't be afraid to stop and refill your piping bag if you need to. So once that's finished, I'm going to add on some mini Easter eggs on top. These ones are the Turkish Delight ones by Cadbury, and honestly, they're perfect for this, and they are my favorite to eat, which I will be eating the eggs off this cake when I'm finished. So the colors in these are really bright, and it just complements this cake beautifully. So I've added about 6 on top here and just spaced them fairly evenly around the top of the cake. Now it's time for some Easter sprinkles. These are from Sprinks and I get them from Caker's Warehouse. I'll link everything below so you can use my code Enchanted10 if you want to save a little. They just add that extra pop of colour and make it feel really fun. Then I've added a little Easter topper for a bit of height and a touch of gold. Okay, this is just that luxe component there. I always like a bit of extra gold and it does match perfectly then with those Turkish Delight eggs we have on top. Now I wanted to add something extra on the sides of the cake. So I started by practicing some piping on my scraper first. And I did try the 1M tip, but I actually preferred the 4B for this. So we're going to turn these into little bunny faces. So I've gone in and piped 8 small stars around the side of my cake. Okay, so just 8 little blobs with the 4B piping tip. And then I've gone back and added the cutest little bunny ears and tiny pink noses on top. Again, these are from Sprinks Baking. It's such a simple detail, but it makes the whole cake feel really playful and just that little bit more Easter inspired. And now after all that, it's finished. So you get to go and enjoy your design now. Now, I really love cakes like this. They're small, they're manageable, and they're such a good way to practice your buttercream and piping without feeling overwhelmed. If you want to get more confident with your buttercream, I've put together my full buttercream bundle, which walks you through everything step by step on how to make your buttercream, and I'll leave that link below for you. If you want to move more into the foundations of decorating real cakes, I'll also link to the foundation series below, which will take you through cutting and leveling your cakes, as well as layering ganache and finishing with a nice smooth finish of your buttercream. So if you've enjoyed decorating along with me today, make sure you're subscribed. I've got more Easter cakes coming and tutorials. And if you do recreate this one or make your own version, I would genuinely love to see it. You can leave it in a comment below or tag me on Instagram, just over at Enchanted Cakes by Yvette, so I can cheer you on. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.